Hi Raju. We have interesting person here, Raju Mandhyan. He's from Philippines. He's an author, he is a life coach, and he is a learning facilitator. Let's learn from him more about his new book that is on the story. Say me something more about how this idea of writing a book on story came across.
Oh, the idea of writing the book on storytelling. Uh, well, I grew up on stories. Grandma's laps, hundreds of stories. I'm sure you did too. I loved stories all my life, and I grew up next to a library. There was a free library. It was called the Albert Edward Institute and Library. And I spent my childhood in the public library reading books all day, all summer. And I read the Greek epics and I wrote the Christian epics. I read the Mahabharata when I was a kid. And I read a lot of bedtime stories and then I moved on to now. I love stories. That's the first reason. The second reason is that my kids grew up with no television at home. My wife said that we are not going to give them TV, we are going to give them real value. So it was my job every night to tell them a story, a brand new story out of nowhere, out of thin air.
I heard that you're from India.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you tell me more about your Indian roots and how Indian mythology has inspired you?
Wow, that's a big one. Well, I think most people, every single individual, is a fruit of the land they grew up on. So I grew up on this Maharashtrian soil, this one, the one right here, and I can't change that. I spent 20 years of my life here. And the myth of India, well, I put aside the myth. That means the colors, the pictures, the drama, the melodrama, that's outside. What is essential to me about the Indian belief system is that we believe in kindness, we believe in mercy, we believe in inclusiveness. That means regardless of your background, regardless of the soil you grew up upon, we take you in. So that's what I love about being an Indian and having been born here.
Wonderful. You mentioned about kindness being part of India,
Yes,
and have you included that part somewhere in your storytelling?
absolutely. In fact, there are about half a dozen stories which came from India. Half a dozen. There are about 20 or 30 stories in here. And one of them is about my teacher in school. I went to a school called Sardar Dastoor Persian Boys High School in Pune, which is a Parsi school. And there was a teacher, Arputa Raj. I think I have a story about him, which is beautiful and it is life changing. I can't tell you the story, it's a big one. Yeah?
No, I will certainly go through
Yeah,
this book and read about the
sure.
story.
Yes.
How stories has impacted life at personal as well as professional level
For me or for the rest of the world?
for general in public.
I believe that every individual and every organization, because that's what the world is all about, they are individuals and they are organizations. Actually, they're almost the same. I think their value system, their basic belief system is born out of stories. For example, take honesty, right? You say honesty is your one of your core values.
Yes.
And I ask you why, what will you do? You will tell me a story
Story.
about it. Right?
Yes.
If you tell me courage, and I ask you why,
Yes.
you will tell me a story. Because you are built by stories. Every single cell in your body is built up of stories. So whether they be in sound, sight, or touch, they're all stories.
Interesting. Storytelling can be used in presentation in the corporate world.
Storytelling is used everywhere, can be used everywhere, and great leaders, great speakers, even really successful businessmen know how to understand stories, tell stories, because creating something new or leadership or innovation is really about change. Think of it, right? If you're inspired by someone, a business person or a political leader, they are trying to create something new. So they tell you two stories. They tell you stories from the past. So they inspire you with the past stories and they tell you stories of the future. Visionary stories. हम यहाँ से आए हैं, हमें वहाँ जाना है. ये दो कहानियाँ हैं. So yeah, you can use them in business. Absolutely.
Interesting. So, Coming from India, being
Yeah,
an Indian origin,
yeah.
can you share your views about the Indian story?
The whole Indian story.
What's being built up,
Well, I think
looking at outside?
India has always been a mystery.
Okay.
It's like that woman that is amazing, strong, and she keeps changing, and you never know how she survives and how she comes back. And people say that maybe she's getting old or maybe she's tired, but I think India, or whatever you want to call her, no? Mother India, for example, I think she has a huge amount of power inside her. That's her culture. Those are her roots, and I think the Indian story, which is now built around the concept of the land being a mother. That's why it's full of kindness, compassion, and inclusiveness.
Beautiful. That was wonderful knowing about Raju Mandhyan and knowing, I'm sure everyone would like to know more about him through his books.
Yeah.
Thank you for time.
Would I like to say anything else? Would I like to close?
Okay.
No, would I like to close? I'm suggesting you ask me.
Yeah, I'll do that. Would you like to say anything?
Yes, of course. Thank you for asking. A while ago, there was an interview, and I told the story, and I used the quote called "From where you are to where you want to go, the path is not long, but the way is deep. You cannot walk there; you have to take a leap." So, what people do, what presenters do, is they have people cross the chasm by force, by structure, and by system. So, when people cross that chasm, they're a bit brittle. They have a hard time creating the change. But when you tell the story, when you tell a powerful story, they don't walk, they jump. Like me, when I changed, when I gave up the habit of smoking, it wasn't a walk, it was a jump forever. So when you want to create powerful change, really powerful, deep change, you tell stories.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.